Hello, welcome to Poems to Live By. I'm Chard deNiord, the former Poet Laureate of Vermont from 2015 to 2019. I'm going to read a couple of poems to you today, some winter poems. It's 18 degrees out here today. It's January 19th, 2022. Happy New Year to everyone. It's also snowy. I'm just going to show you a quick panorama of the snow here in the back of my house and a partially blue sky. Back to me here. The first poem I'm going to read is by Wallace Stevens, who was a great modernist. He was born in 1878 and he died in 1955, the same year he won the Pulitzer Prize. He was a contemporary of T.S. Eliot and William Carlos Williams and Marianne Moore and Robert Frost, and other great modernists of that era. He wrote a very famous poem called The Snowman, which some of you may know, and it's a wonderful poem to memorize, although it's a little difficult to memorize because of the syntax. It doesn't rhyme, but it's a wonderfully formal feeling poem about winter that has a kind of Zen quality to it as well, and just continues to resonate, especially if you memorize it. You'll hear it over and over again as you're just walking down the street and you're unconscious. That brings this poem to mind. The Snowman. One must have a mind of winter to regard the frost in the boughs of the pine trees crusted with snow, and have been cold a long time to behold the junipers shagged with ice, the spruces rough in the distant glitter of the January sun, and not to think of any misery in the sound of the wind, in the sound of a few leaves, which is the sound of the land full of the same wind that is blowing in the same bare place for the listener, who listens in the snow, and nothing himself beholds, nothing that is not there, and the nothing that is. This second poem that I'd like to read to you is titled Hull Pond in January. And I wrote it many years ago. Now my daughter was only 9 or 10, and we were visiting a friend of mine, Stephen Sandy, who was also a wonderful poet, one of Vermont's best poets. He died a few years ago, but I still think of him often and read his poems often. Hull Pond is right near where he lived. I think it's just over the border in New York, but I'm not sure. It's a kind of mythological place for me now as I think about it. And I don't think I could find my way back there. I would drive past its road, I think. I have no idea unless I ask somebody where it is, but it certainly exists very clearly in my mind, almost as a kind of dream now. So my daughter and son, Soren, were out skating, and I was out skating with them, and my wife also, and there were many ice fishermen out on the pond as well. There's a reference to one of them in the poem, the figure I refer to him as. Hull Pond in January. A small figure out on the ice grows smaller against the distance, not quite skimming yet, slide-stepping into harmless pratfalls, a blade gone errantly out or in against the inductive of balance. Not too far, her mother calls. The ice is thick. Across the lake, an auger drills infinitely into the crust. Trout swim slowly around in their sleep like morals in a callous heart. The figure feels them under his feet and decides to drill there. No, there. The sky darkening slows, or so it seems in the January light, then halts altogether. A sheet of cold ascends the ice to form a zone between her skates and voice. The surface freezes deeper, then shifts against the banks, cracking down this winter's spine from one end to the other. Hull Pond in January, from my first book titled Asleep in the Fire. Until next time, Enjoy the rest of January and be well.